Good morning. I'm up bright and early today. I'm travelling extremely light. You can see that bag there. On the other end, I've got a rod and reel already set up in my recording contraption. It's a homemade one. It's a very cheap tripod. It's all taped together, and that's a selfie stick from Pound World at the top. I'll tell you what though, it works, and that's the important thing, isn't it? It's not how it looks, it's how it turns out, and it does the job. Anyway, I'm hoping to do the same this morning with the 3 spined sticklebacks that I'm out to watch when I'm walking here, as well as look at the camera because it's quite bumpy. It's also a place that I've seen what I thought was, I'm pretty sure was a bullhead on a previous visit, so I'm getting up a little bit earlier to have a go at alternative species as well, just to see what's in there. And I'm off to my first game since March this afternoon. Well, I'll be setting off quite early this morning, hence the early start for the fishing. That's down in South Wales, in the capital. But for now, I'm hoping that I can not exactly get 1 or 2 in the back of the net, because we are talking mini species, but get a few on the bank. On arrival at the brook, it's a very small one at that, wild and overgrown. I can see a few very small sticklebacks darting around in the water. Can't see anything else, but as we know, with these type of venues, the fish are very good at camouflaging themselves. And that's definitely the case with sticklebacks. You could look into a brook, for example, and you wouldn't think there was anything there. But you put that bait out in the water, and immediately I've got hordes of small fish onto it. And I'm lifting, as I've done each time I've cast out while you've been watching, and the fish have come off, but I'm sure there are some bigger ones not too far away. I'm not a blanker because I'm off the mark. I was just going to show you the fish with the maggot and the hook in its mouth to show you how they take it properly, but it wasn't connected, so the hook came out, but I still got the fish. And by the way, I don't know if you can see there, well you can't because it's just tangled up. Oh, there it is. I'm fishing with a size 18 hook and a white maggot. I'm doing well. I'm continuing to catch fish. None of the monsters yet, because I have been connecting with some really big sticklebacks in these brooks. Most of them are just small fish though. Immediately you cast in, they're on the bait. They're not even big enough to take it. One of them will pick it up and dart around with it, so you can actually see the fish and the white maggot going around in the water. And then the plan is that a bigger fish moves in. I'm just trying to get this in the right position because it's got the spines up that give it its name. Then a big fish moves in and does the business. And sometimes even the small fish will take the hook and the bait. You may have noticed on that last clip that the line from the reel went straight through to the hook. You will have noticed that because it's brown, Maxima chameleon, whereas I have been fishing with a loop to loop, so a hook length as it were, of fluorocarbon or Drennan Team England, but both £1.6. The real line is £4. You do get a lot of tangles in situations like this, as you can imagine, because I'm in with the undergrowth, in with all the branches and the brambles overhanging me, and it is difficult just to get a bait out there. And I'm coming towards the end of this little session, and I just had a tangle, and in the end I had to cut off the £1.6 line, so I just tied the reel line straight through. But I'll tell you what, it hasn't affected the fishing. They maybe sticklebacks, and £4 is certainly more than enough. Actually, the previous 1.6 is more than enough to deal with these fish, but they're not being targeted other than by me. They're not used to hooks and line yet. Whether they will, I don't know. I don't think I'm exactly going to be fishing here that much to put them in that position, but I'm certainly catching fish and getting lots and lots of activity. Lots of small ones out there this morning. It's amazing because you're looking at a really tiny brook, and it's very clear, very shallow. You can see the bottom, no problem at all. It's quite narrow as well. So when you look at it, there's not anywhere really for the fish to hide. But then you think there's all these overhanging trees, branches, even logs in the water. And when you put a bait in, it looks as if it's barren and devoid of fish. But immediately, sticklebacks appear from nowhere, as it were. They'll hide underneath even the tiniest of sticks or twigs on the bed of the brook, and even under old leaves that have deposited in certain places and gathered. There's a little army of fish under there. It's fascinating to watch, and even though they are the sort of species that most anglers are not going to target, I do enjoy the mini species. Nevertheless, the principles are still the same as you observe them in the water, how they behave, how they react to various situations. That's watercraft, and whether it's this type of environment or something totally different, the general principles of watercraft are still very, very important indeed. I didn't catch or see anything other than sticklebacks, but I did bank 16 fish in this short trip. That's the great thing about these type of waters. They're intimate, they're small, they're difficult to fish sometimes. Access can be a problem alone, but if you do enjoy genuinely all types of fishing like I do, I'll tell you what, you get as much pleasure as if you're fishing a huge water after big fish. It's all the same. It's all fishing. It's all about how you feel as an angler, and this certainly ticks the box as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, back home, shower, get some different clothes on, off to Shrewsbury. That's where I'm being picked up, and then down to Cardiff. It's going to be a long day today, probably about 14 hours in total. That's an estimate anyway, but football, that's back on as far as I'm concerned anyway, with the matches. It's been a long time, as I said, since I was last at a game, so I'm looking forward to this one today.